Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they are surrounded by the wrong people. That's the truth nobody wants to admit. You think your downfall is discipline, money, or opportunity, but in reality, it's the circle you keep feeding your energy to. Think about it. How many of the people closest to you actually make you sharper? How many of them push you higher? Or are they quietly holding you down with gossip, distractions, or small thinking? The world tells you to network, to meet more people, shake more hands, collect more contacts, but a bigger network doesn't equal a better life. It just means more noise, and noise kills clarity. What you really need isn't more people around you, it's the right people. Imagine sitting in a room full of voices, everyone talking at once. Some are telling you to slow down, others are mocking your ambition, a few are offering shallow praise, hoping to keep you comfortable. And buried in the middle, there's one voice, the voice that tells you the hard truth, the thing you don't want to hear but need the most. That's the voice that saves you. That's the voice that belongs in your circle. Steve Jobs understood this deeply. He wasn't interested in being liked by everyone. He wasn't collecting yes men to boost his ego. He deliberately built a small, tight inner circle of people who were brutally honest, fiercely competent, and unafraid to challenge him. Jobs knew, a bloated circle leads to diluted vision. A tight circle sharpens it. He once said that focus isn't about saying yes to what matters, it's about saying no to 1,000 things. That wasn't just about design or technology, it was about people too. He surrounded himself with a handful of individuals who could push him, who demanded excellence, who forced him to see differently. That's why Apple created things the world had never seen before. Not because Jobs was some lone genius locked away in a garage, but because his circle was precise, powerful, and unrelenting. Now look at your own life. Be honest. How many of your closest people tell you the truth when you need it? How many of them hold you accountable to the standard you claim to want? Or do they let you slide, laugh at your excuses, and secretly enjoy watching you stay stuck? Your circle sets your standard. Mediocre circle, mediocre life. If the people closest to you are comfortable with average, you will eventually settle for average. If your friends avoid discomfort, you will start avoiding it too. Standards are contagious, and your environment always wins. But here's the tough pill. Most of you are too afraid to cut the noise. You confuse attention with alignment. Just because someone texts you often doesn't mean they belong in your inner circle. Just because someone supports you emotionally doesn't mean they're fit to support your growth. Loyalty isn't enough. Alignment matters more. It's not easy to make that shift. It feels cold. It feels harsh. But building a tight circle isn't about being popular. It's about being unstoppable. You don't need 20 people around you. You don't even need 10. You just need a few who demand your best, who won't tolerate your excuses, who remind you of your potential when you want to quit. And yes, it's uncomfortable, because those people will hurt your feelings sometimes. They'll tell you you're slipping when you want to relax. They'll call you out when you're lying to yourself, but that discomfort, that's what makes you grow. Ask yourself, who in your life actually makes you better? Who challenges your thinking? Who raises your standards just by being around them? And then on the other side, who drains you? Who distracts you? Who lowers your ambition because they can't imagine anything bigger for themselves? Here's the truth, not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Just because they were there when you were weak doesn't mean they should be there when you're strong. Just because you grew up together doesn't mean you'll grow into the same future. Loyalty to the wrong people is sabotage. Look at history. Great leaders, athletes, inventors, none of them achieved greatness by surrounding themselves with comfort. Michael Jordan didn't spend his nights with people who accepted losing. He surrounded himself with teammates and coaches who demanded excellence every single day. Elon Musk didn't build companies worth billions by listening to people who told him to slow down. He kept a circle that challenged him to think bigger, to work harder, to push limits. And yet you let people stay in your circle just because it's familiar, just because you're scared of being alone. But let me tell you this, being alone and focused is better than being surrounded and lost. Solitude sharpens you. Wrong company softens you. Steve Jobs wasn't afraid of that solitude. He often withdrew, spent long stretches obsessing over ideas, and came back to his circle only when he needed clarity, confrontation, and refinement. His circle was like a forge. Hot, brutal, but it shaped steel. So ask yourself right now, who's in your forge? Who are the people shaping you? Are they sharpening you into steel, or are they softening you into dust? You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your circle. Your dreams are fragile in the wrong environment. That's why so many people quit halfway. It's not that their dreams were impossible, it's that their circle poisoned them with doubt, laziness, or mediocrity. They never stood a chance because the wrong voices got louder than their own. But you have a choice. You can choose who gets access. You can choose who gets influence. You can choose who gets a seat at your table. And that choice will determine everything. Cut the noise. Stop chasing bigger circles. Start choosing better ones. Because in the end, your circle is either building your vision or breaking it. And the cost of the wrong circle, it's your entire future. What if I told you the people closest to you could be the reason your dreams never see the light of day? Think about that for a second. Not strangers, not critics, the people sitting right next to you, laughing with you, sharing meals with you. They might be the very ones holding you back. The problem is, most people don't notice it because toxicity doesn't always scream at you. Sometimes it whispers. It looks like friends who tell you, relax, you work too hard. It looks like family who laughs when you talk about big goals. It looks like a partner who secretly fears your growth because it means leaving them behind. These aren't obvious enemies. They're comfortable chains. And chains don't always feel heavy at first. They feel familiar. They feel safe. Until one day, you realize you've been dragging them for years and wondering why you're not moving forward. That's why your circle matters. It's not just about who you hang out with, it's about who you become because of who you hang out with. Steve Jobs knew this, but so did another American icon, Michael Jordan. People call him the greatest basketball player of all time, but what most forget is the environment he built around himself. Jordan didn't surround himself with people who accepted losing. He surrounded himself with coaches who demanded his best and teammates who pushed him until he collapsed. Even in practice, he was ruthless because he knew that if the circle around him settled for less, he would too. That's the lesson. Your circle sets your standard, but let's be honest, it's easier to stay with the wrong people than to cut them loose. It's easier to go to the same hangouts, laugh at the same jokes, and drown your ambition in the same distractions. Cutting people feels lonely, and nobody wants to be lonely. Yet loneliness with purpose is far better than companionship with mediocrity. You've got to stop confusing comfort with loyalty. Just because someone's been in your life for 10 years doesn't mean they deserve to be in your next 10. Just because someone supported you during your struggles doesn't mean they're equipped to support your growth. Some people are only meant for a chapter, not the whole story. So here's the effort you need to make. Audit your circle with brutal honesty, not with guilt, not with nostalgia, with clarity. Ask yourself, does this person inspire me? Does this person challenge me? Do they call me out when I'm wrong? Or do they let me rot in my excuses? Do they raise my standards or do they quietly lower them? If the answer hurts, good. Growth always hurts. Cutting people out isn't about cruelty, it's about survival. Because your dreams are fragile, they can't survive in a polluted environment. They need protection. And protecting them means protecting your circle. Think of it like this. Imagine trying to train for a marathon while eating junk food every night. Impossible, right? Your environment betrays your effort. The same happens with people. You can read books, hit the gym, start businesses, but if the 5 people closest to you are lazy, distracted, and unmotivated, they'll pull you back to their level. This is why champions choose carefully. Jordan didn't waste his time with people who thought good enough was acceptable. Elon Musk doesn't surround himself with people who tell him to relax. Oprah didn't build an empire by keeping people who doubted her vision in her circle. They all understood the same truth. Excellence requires insulation, not isolation from the world, but insulation from mediocrity. And this is where most of you struggle, because deep down, you still crave validation. You still want to be liked. You still want to keep every connection, even when it's draining you. But here's the truth, not everyone deserves access to you. Your time, your energy, your vision, those are your treasures. Stop handing them to people who don't value them. The rise begins when you choose differently. When you decide you'd rather have 3 powerful allies than 30 casual acquaintances. When you realize depth is stronger than width. When you finally understand that quality always beats quantity. Picture this. Imagine having just 3 people in your circle. One pushes you to stay disciplined, one challenges your thinking and sparks creativity, one reminds you of your strength when you want to give up. That's all it takes. Not 30, not 300, just 3. That's what Jobs had. That's what Jordan had. That's what every legend has had. A circle not of convenience but of consequence. And here's the moral. Big dreams don't need big crowds. They need tight circles. Stop letting guilt keep you tied to mediocrity. Stop mistaking constant contact for real connection. Stop thinking you can carry dead weight and still fly. Your circle is either sharpening you or softening you, and the difference will decide everything. So let me ask you, who gets to sit at your table? Who gets a key to your mind? Who gets access to your vision? Because whether you realize it or not, those people are either building your future or burning it down. And when you finally grasp this, your life changes, because you stop looking at people for who they were in your past, and you start judging them for who they are in your present. You stop keeping people around out of fear, and you start building your circle out of strength. Remember this: one strong ally is worth more than 10 weak companions. One honest friend is worth more than 100 flatterers. One relentless partner is worth more than 1,000 cheerleaders. Choose carefully, because the wrong circle won't just waste your time. The wrong circle will cost you your destiny.